Okay, so I just wanted to go. I'm going to start creating some videos on what we have for functionality on the residential viewer. So by default, and oh, by the way, we're tweaking the color here. So the color's a little bit lighter for the sales data, and then we're going to have different selection colors as well. Let us know if the colors don't work for you. So by default, when you open it up, you get this enhanced search. In this enhanced search, I can type in multiple APNs like that and run a query off of them, as long as I have a comma and not a space. Didn't find anything. Probably ag. These are probably ag properties. So test that out. I'll keep testing too, but I bet these are maybe these are ag properties. You should be able to separate them by comma, 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 comma. Maybe I'll come up with a better example. Maybe even come into here, residential land. Oh. You can limit to the map extent. This is my map extent, whatever my view is. So it does that. Oh, it still doesn't find it. Oh, wait a minute. Go back to there. It depends on what I have here too. So there we go. I found one. So we'll have to look at that. So if I have this, it's going to zoom to it. I can clear results, or I can just exit out. But I'll go over each of these at a later time. What I want to do is I want to show the time slider. So when I launch the time slider, it's only going to show data between this date and this date. So between January 2nd, 2009 and October 2nd, 2009. Right now it's looking at residential sales. I guess it's looking at all of them. But I only have, well, I guess I have residential land. I have them all turned on. So when I pull up the layer list, it draws all the data. But by default, when I have the time slider on, it's only going to draw the data that's within the time slider spot. And so what you could do is I could just click play, and then what we'll do is it'll increment through and show you the sales during those areas. As you can see, it's going out and it's querying the data based on conveyance date. Right, that's one way to use it. I'm going to pause. If I want to show all the data within the slider, I just expand one side to one side. I mean, one little widget to one side and one to the other, and it's going to show me all the data in the area. If I want to look at ranges, I want to expand it. I don't want to just look at I think it's like 2 month increments maybe, or actually it's more than that. So, but it's only going to draw whatever I have within my range. So if you have a certain range you want to look at, you just move your little guys around and it's going to show you all the data. It's just based on conveyance. Right, so I can kind of look through it from a standpoint of I want to increment through manually. I want to go backwards. Or if I want to just click play, and then it will cycle through it automatically. So you guys will have to let me know if that's useful at all. I can play back speed, I can go faster. And then it just starts over. Or we can slow it down and go really slow. Maybe even too slow. And that's kind of the way the time slider works. Now I want to stop it. Now to get rid of the window, I just come up here to the widget and turn it off. And then all my data comes back on. Now we can build a date in there as well based on the query. We can query something in here. This is where I'm starting to build stuff just for you guys to play around with. But I can come in here and do a residential sales by conveyance date, condo sales, and residential land sales. This will ultimately be all triggered by what you guys want. Another tool I want to just show you real quick, this quick little video, is I got this thing called a swipe tool. So if I highlight it, it pops up, it tells me what it is. When I click on this tool, what it will do is based on this drop down, it will swipe that information out. So if I want to say residential sales, on this side I see residential sales. When I move this little widget, it turns stuff on and off. It's just a way to interact with my data, another way to interact with if I don't want to turn things on and off. Probably the most useful stuff would be project codes, or if I have zoning turned on. I'll put zoning on there and I use swipe. I can swipe zoning out too. See? And then if I want to get rid of it, I just click the swipe button again and it goes away. It goes back to your default view. So those are really just two tools I wanted to show, the swipe tool and the time slider. And I'll go over each one of these in more detail soon.